This was the scene at the anti-corruption court after Busiki MP Paul Akamba was granted bail. He was roughed up and bundled into a van that was driven and guarded by armed security operatives in plain clothes. This is not the first time that the security operatives have rearrested suspects after being granted bail. The Uganda Law Society has weighed in on this matter.
The rearrest of Honorable Akamba is a violation of his constitutional rights. Most fundamentally, the violation of the right to personal liberty. But more importantly, it is an affront to rule of law, the Constitution, and constitutionalism. And every well-meaning Ugandan should be able to condemn this sort of acts. It is a reminder of the Black Mamba in 2006 and 2007. And anyone who participated should also be investigated. In order for constitutionalism and for rule of law to thrive, it is important to let institutions work.
Although the security operatives always claim to rearrest the suspects due to new charges, the legal fraternity say this is what ought to have been done.
If he has another charge to answer, he should have been charged. You cannot wait for him in the precincts of the court premises after he has been given bail and you rearrest him. Clearly, anyone who says he has another charge to answer will just be an afterthought to try and clearly defend what happened. But for you to be able to rearrest someone who has just been granted bail in the precincts of the court premises and using AK-47, erode public confidence in the judiciary. It means that when people look at these actions, they start to think that even a court order is not important.
Sometimes suspects are picked earlier and produced in court on Friday, which critics say is always a ploy to keep them in jail for a longer period.
It's important that as much as possible, the Director of Public Prosecution in bringing these cases, people should be arrested once investigations are complete. The argument of going to court and saying investigations are still pending, and while you have someone actually presumed innocent, you continue to violate his right to the presumption of innocence. So it's important, and it's good culture, that before someone is arrested, you have completed the investigations.
But what action will Uganda Law Society take?
As Uganda Law Society, we are going to continue to follow. As you know, Uganda Law Society before has gone to court on matters like this, and that was in 2006 and 2007 when you had the Black Mamba, and we will continue to follow what happens in terms of what is happening here. When it continues, we will decide as a society what course of action we should be able to do.
This is a comment from the Director, Communication and Public Affairs of Parliament, Chris Obore.
I saw the rearrest of Honorable Akamba on television like many of us did. And from what I witnessed, the rearrest was done by the state apparatus. And that clearly means that the member is still within the custody of the state. I don't want to speculate so much because it's clear it's the state that rearrested him. Let's wait for what the state will say next.
In November 2005, men donned in black and carrying rifles, they were called the Black Mambas, stormed the High Court where the People's Redemption Army suspects were appearing, and that paralyzed the city. The Uganda Law Society went to court and challenged the Attorney General over such acts where suspects, especially after being granted bail, are rearrested by the security operatives. And these things have been happening quite often. During the time of the Muslim clerics, several sheikhs, after being granted bail, were rearrested by security operatives in plain clothes. And it's not clear when the security apparatus will shy away from such kind of acts in a country that believes in democracy. Sudhir Biarhanga, NTV.